Now, once you understand how you can get this data from the .json file, let's take a look at how you can get this data from the MongoDB database. I'm going to search for MongoDB and open the mongodb.com website. Once you open it, you have to just sign in with your Google account or with your username and password. Once you've done that, you will have the window something like this. Right here, you have to create a new project. You have to click on this drop down menu and click on this new project button. Once you click on it, you have to create a new project. I already have a project here, the store, so I'm not going to create any project. So once you create your new project, you have to build your database. So just click on this build a database button. Once you click on it, it will ask you to choose the cloud database. I'm using the free version of MongoDB, so just choose the shared version. So we're going to choose this free shared server and click on this create button. Now just for that, you can choose your provider, then you can choose your region. I'm going to leave everything as it is, and then at the bottom right down here, I'm going to choose the cluster name called Next.js CRUD, and then I'm going to click on this create cluster. Once I click on it, this is going to create a new cluster inside this database. It will take about 3 to 5 minutes to create a new cluster. While it's creating, you have to create a new user and pass the database access to the user. So just click on this database access. You can see I already have a user here, admin. To create a new user, just click on this add new database user, then choose the username and password. Then just click on this add user button. This is going to create a new user inside this database. Using this user, we are going to access the database. Just out of that, you have to click on the network access and then add your IP address here. So just click on add IP address and then click on this add current IP address and click on confirm. Once you've done that, just back to your database. When you're back to your database, you can see you will have the cluster with the name Next.js CRUD. Now once you have your database, let's connect this with Next.js. So just click on this connect button and just choose this connect your application to your cluster using MongoDB native driver. So I'm going to choose this second option and I'm going to copy this link. And I'm using this link to connect this MongoDB cluster to my Next.js application. Then I'm going to back to the project, and inside this database here, I'm going to create a new file, name this file con.js, and inside this file here I'm going to create a new constant variable and I'm going to name this Mongo URI is equal to, and then in the double quote I'm going to pass this link. What you have to do is you have to get rid of this password and specify the user password here. So get rid of it, and I'm going to pass my user password, which is admin123. That's it. Just out of that, you have to just pass this Mongo URI to the connect function of Mongoose. Now instead of using MongoDB, I'm using here Mongoose driver to connect MongoDB with Next.js. So let me first save this file, open the terminal, clear the screen. Here I'm going to say npm I for install -d to save this package as development dependency, and then I'm going to say here Mongoose. When I press enter, this is going to install this package as development dependencies inside this Next.js project. Once I have it, let me just start the development server again. npm run dev. This will start the development server. Just out of that, right inside this connection file, here I'm going to create a constant function. So I'm going to say here constant connect Mongo is equal to, and then I'm going to pass here async function. So we'll have the asynchronous data. Just out of that, you need to add here try and catch, so we can catch the error as well. So we pass here try, and after this try, we have the catch to catch the errors. Inside this catch, we are going to return a promise with reject function. So this is going to reject the promise, and then I'm going to return errors with it. Just out of that, inside this try, we have to connect the MongoDB to the Next.js. So we have to call the Mongoose connect function. So at the top here, I have to say import Mongoose from Mongoose. So the Mongoose library is going to return a default object called Mongoose, and using this you can connect your database. So I'm going to say here mongoose dot connect. This is going to return a function called connect, and using this function we are going to connect the MongoDB. So the first thing we need to pass is the URI. So inside this connect, as you know, at the top here we have the Mongo URI. So we pass here Mongo URI, something like this, and this is going to return the connection object. So we can get that inside a variable. So let me just pass here a constant in the object we destructure a connection object. So we pass here connection. So this statement is going to return a property called connection. I'm going to destructure it with JavaScript destructuring, and here I'm going to pass await. So we'll have all the data asynchronous. Just for that, write down here, if the connection dot ready state, if it is equal to 1, then I'm going to execute this if statement. And here I'm going to say console.log database connected. And we need to call this in the API route. So let me copy this and right down here, we need to just export this. So I'm going to say here export default and then specify connect Mongo. So we can get this function in the other files as well. Let me save this file, back to the pages, and here I have API. Inside this API, we have a default route called hello.js. Right inside this, I'm going to call here my connect function. So we first need to say import connect Mongo from // and then I'm going to specify // again, and then I'm going to specify the database and the connection file. From this, I'm going to call this connect Mongo function, something like this. Let me save the changes, back to my project, and then I'm going to type here API hello. This is going to call the hello route of the Next.js. Now I'm going to have this response. Now if you back to the terminal, here you can see you have your console message, database connected. So now you can see we successfully connected the MongoDB database with Next.js.